Determine the total discharge time for the capacitor in a clamper having C 0.01 F and R 500 K. A 5 ms, B 25 ms, C 2.5 ms, D 50 ms. The correct answer is 25 ms. Which element dictates the maximum level of source voltage? A Vz, B Izm, C Iz, D none of the above. The correct answer is Izm. What type of diode circuit is used to clip off portions of signal voltages above or below certain levels? A clipper or limiter, B clamper, C IC voltage regulator, D none of the above. The correct answer is clipper or limiter. Each diode in a center-tapped full-wave rectifier is biased and conducts 4 of the input cycle. A forward 90, B reverse 180, C forward 180, D reverse 90. The correct answer is forward 180. What is the voltage measured from the negative terminal of C4 to the negative terminal of the transformer? A 10V, B 20V, C 10V, D 20V. The correct answer is 20V. The output frequency of a full-wave rectifier is the input frequency. A 1/2, B equal to, C twice, D 1/4. The correct answer is twice. PIV is which of the following? A peak input voltage, B peak inverse voltage, C peak immediate voltage, D positive input voltage. The correct answer is peak inverse voltage. Determine the peak value of the current through the load resistor. A 2.325 mA, B 5 mA, C 1.25 mA, D 0 mA. The correct answer is 2.325 mA. Determine the peak value of the output waveform. A 25V, B 15V, C 25V, D 15V. The correct answer is 15V. In a regulated supply, what term describes how much change occurs in the output voltage for a given change in the input voltage? A load regulation, B voltage regulator, C line regulation, D ripple voltage. The correct answer is line regulation. A short circuit has a drop across its terminals and the current is limited only by the surrounding network. A 5V, B 0V, C 1V, D. The correct answer is 0V. Determine the peak for both half cycles of the output waveform. A 16V 4V, B 16V 4V, C 16V 4V, D 16V 4V. The correct answer is 16V 4V. What is the peak inverse voltage across each diode in a voltage doubler? A Vm, B 2 Vm, C 0.5 Vm, D 0.25 Vm. The correct answer is 2 Vm. What is the V RRM PIV rating for the 1N4001 rectifier diode? A 50V, B 100V, C 200V, D 400V. The correct answer is 50V. What type of diode circuit is used to add or restore a DC level to an electrical signal? A clipper or limiter, B clamper, C IC voltage regulator, D none of the above. The correct answer is clamper. Determine ID2. A 6.061 mA, B 0.7 mA, C 3.393 mA, D 3.571 mA. The correct answer is 3.393 mA. What is the logic function of this circuit? A positive logic and gate, B positive logic or gate, C. Negative logic and gate. D. Negative logic or gate. The correct answer is positive logic and gate. In a regulated supply, what term describes how much change occurs in the output voltage over a certain range of load current values from minimum to maximum current? A. Line regulation. B. Voltage regulator. C. Current regulator. D. Load regulation. The correct answer is load regulation. Determine the average value of the current through the load resistor. A. 2.5 mA. B. 0 mA. C. 1.37 mA. D. 1.479 mA. The correct answer is 1.479 mA. What best describes the circuit? A. Full wave rectifier. B. Half wave rectifier. C. Clipper. D. Clamper. The correct answer is full wave rectifier. What is the PIV for each diode in a full wave center tapped rectifier? Note V pout peak output voltage. A. V pout 0.7 V. B. V pout 0.7 V. C. 2 V pout 0.7 V. D. 2 V pout 0.7 V. The correct answer is 2 V pout 0.7 V. Determine ID2. A. 29.40 mA. B. 30.30 mA. C. 14.70 mA. D. None of the above. The correct answer is 14.70 mA. Determine the current level if E 15 V and R 3 K. A. 0 A. B. 4.76 mA. C. 5 mA. D. 5 A. The correct answer is 4.76 mA. Determine V2. A. 3.201 V. B. 0 V. C. 4.3 V. D. 1.371 V. The correct answer is 1.371 V. If the AC supply is 50 Hz, what will be the ripple frequency out of the full wave rectifier? A. 50 Hz. B. 60 Hz. C. 100 Hz. D. 120 Hz. The correct answer is 100 Hz. How many terminals do the 7800 series fixed positive voltage regulators have? A. 2. B. 3. C. 4. D. 5. The correct answer is 3. An open circuit can have any voltage across its terminals, but the current is always A. 5A. B. 0A. C. 1A. D. The correct answer is 0A. Determine ID1. A. 0 mA. B. 29.40 mA. C. 14.70 mA. D. 14.09 mA. The correct answer is 0 mA. A silicon diode in a half-wave rectifier has a barrier potential of 0.7 V. This has the effect of A. Reducing the peak output voltage by 0.7 V. B. Increasing the peak output voltage by 0.7 V. C. Reducing the peak input voltage by 0.7 V. D. No effect. The correct answer is reducing the peak output voltage by 0.7 V. What best describes the circuit? A. Full wave rectifier. B. Half wave rectifier. C. Clipper. D. Clamper. The correct answer is clipper. Determine the value of the load resistor. A. RL5K. B. RL5.5K. C. RL6K. D. None of the above. The correct answer is RL5.5K. Use the information provided here to determine the value of IDQ. A. 0 mA. B. 4.3 mA. C. 5 mA. D. 10 mA. The correct answer is 4.3 mA. If the AC supply is 60 Hz, what will be the ripple frequency out of the half-wave rectifier? A. 30 Hz. B 50 Hz, C 60 Hz, D 120 Hz. The correct answer is 60 Hz. Calculate IL and IZ. A 2 ma 0 ma, B 4 ma 2 ma, C 2 ma 2 ma, D 2 ma 4 ma. The correct answer is 2 ma 4 ma. In the operation of a half-wave rectifier with a capacitor input filter, the ripple factor can be lowered by the value of the filter capacitor or the load resistors. A decreasing decreasing, B decreasing increasing, C increasing decreasing, D increasing increasing. The correct answer is increasing increasing. In a particular problem, which mode has the highest level of IDQ? A ideal, B approximate equivalent, C exact mode using characteristic curve, D none of the above. The correct answer is ideal. Which diodes have a zero level current and voltage drop in the ideal model? A psi, B GE, C both psi and GE, D neither psi nor GE. The correct answer is both psi and GE. Determine VO if E1 E2 10V, A 9.3V, B 10V, C 10V, D 0V. The correct answer is 10V. The output frequency of a half-wave rectifier is the input frequency. A 1/2, B twice, C equal to, D none of the above. The correct answer is equal to. A diode is in the state if the current established by the applied sources is such that its direction matches that of the arrow in the diode symbol, and VD 0.7V for psi and VD 0.3V for GE. A off, B on, C neutral, D quiescent. The correct answer is on. Determine ID. A 0 ma, B 1.893 ma, C 2.036 ma, D 2.143 ma. The correct answer is 1.893 ma. What best describes the circuit? A full wave rectifier, B half wave rectifier, C clipper, D clamper. The correct answer is half wave rectifier. In a voltage multiplier circuit, the number of diodes is directly proportional to the multiplicative voltage factor. A true, B false, C, D. The correct answer is true. Rectifiers are commonly used in battery chargers. A true, B false, C, D. The correct answer is true. List the categories of clippers. A series, B parallel, C series and parallel, D none of the above. The correct answer is series and parallel. A silicon diode has a voltage to ground of 117 V from the anode. The voltage to ground from the cathode is 117.7 V. The diode is A open, B shorted, C forward biased, D reverse biased. The correct answer is forward biased. Which diode arrangement will supply a positive output voltage? A, B, B, C, C, D, D. The correct answer is A. What is the logic function of this circuit? A positive logic and gate, B positive logic or gate, C negative logic and gate, D negative logic or gate. The correct answer is positive logic or gate. Determine the current through each diode if E1 E2 0V. A 4.65 mA, B 9.3 mA, C 18.6 mA, D 0.7 mA. The correct answer is 4.65 mA. Determine the voltage across the resistor. A 0V, B 0.09V, C 0.2V, D 0.44 V. The correct answer is 0 V. With this Zener diode in its on state, what is the level of IZ for the maximum load resistance? A 0 mA. B undefined. C equal to IRL. D IZM. The correct answer is IZM. In a voltage regulator network with fixed RL and R, what element dictates the minimum level of source voltage? A VZ. B IZ. C IZM. D none of the above. The correct answer is VZ.